Hello everyone. Today I'll be explaining what is arguably the most insane mobile suit in the entire Gundam series, appearing in Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. Its name is Psycho Zaku, a red machine covered with countless thrusters across its entire body and a massive backpack that exceeds the mobile suit's own height. The visual impact is tremendous, but the true horror of this machine lies in its control system. Only by severing all of the pilot's limbs and connecting them directly to the machine can its true performance be unleashed. This is the reality of the Psycho Zaku, a demonic experimental machine. Now, let's dive into the details. Let's start with the basic information. While known by the nickname Psycho Zaku, this machine's official designation is High Mobility Zaku, equipped with reuse Psycho device. Its model number is MS-06R. Interestingly, the name Psycho Zaku didn't exist from the development stage. It was coined during actual combat deployment by Captain Burrows of the Living Dead Division's mothership, Dried Fish, and the name stuck. It was developed by a special unit within the Zeon forces, the Living Dead Division, based in the Thunderbolt sector, a space region dense with wreckage from destroyed warships. The base machine is the High Mobility Zaku 2, most likely the R2 type. This can be inferred from the leg structure and the ability to use beam weapons in the OVA version. The external characteristics of this machine can be summed up in one word: excessive. Over 50 thrusters and burners are placed across its entire body, and combined with the performance of the base High Mobility Zaku, it achieves extremely high mobility and maneuverability. And most eye-catching of all is the large backpack that exceeds the MS's own height. It mounts 3 or more rocket boosters of various sizes and includes weapon rack functionality. Furthermore, the upper part of the backpack is equipped with 2 subarms with multi-axis structures that can move flexibly. These subarms greatly contribute to Psycho Zaku's combat style. Now we come to the core of Psycho Zaku. The absolutely essential component when discussing this machine is the Reuse Psycho Device Control System. The system's lead developer was an engineer named Carla Mitchum. This system transmits electrical signals from the pilot's brain directly to the mobile suit's drive system, enabling machine control. In other words, it becomes possible to operate the mobile suit as an extension of the pilot's own body. You can move the mobile suit as if moving your own limbs. In theory, it's a dream system. However, there's a terrifying constraint here. To fully utilize this system's performance, all of the pilot's limbs must be converted to prosthetics. This is absolutely essential. In other words, both arms and both legs must be amputated and replaced with mechanical prosthetics. Only then can electrical signals from the brain be transmitted directly to the machine. This is truly a forbidden highway that connects human nerves directly to the MS's control panel. Without going through existing control systems, physical interfaces like levers and pedals, thoughts become machine movements directly. As the toll for this highway, the pilot must sacrifice their own body. Difference from Psycommu. Despite having Psycho in the name, the Reuse Psycho device is not a Psycommu system. The machine itself doesn't have Psycommu installed either. While Psycommu utilizes new type brainwaves, the Reuse Psycho device simply uses the electrical transmission of neural signals. In other words, you don't need to be a new type. This insane system had an unexpected side benefit. Because the prosthetics allow the pilot to operate the machine intuitively through thought, even high-mobility mobile suits that normally require advanced skills can be operated with drastically shortened training periods. For the Zeon military in the late war, suffering from a shortage of skilled pilots, this was an extremely attractive characteristic. Of course, if the connection ports are compatible, it's possible to attach standard mechanical prosthetics and live a normal daily life. But even so, this price is far too heavy. The pilot who drives this Psycho Zaku is Ensign Daryl Lorenz. He was originally known as a master sniper. However, after losing his left leg in combat and burning with a desire for revenge against the Moore Brotherhood's ace, I.O. Fleming, he made a decision to achieve military results, or rather, to accomplish his revenge. He had his own right arm amputated as well, framed as a military order. This wasn't forced, but Daryl, of his own will, offered up his remaining limbs. That's how much his heart had been consumed by the desire for revenge. Psycho Zaku's combat deployment occurred under extremely urgent circumstances. The Living Dead Division had lost most of its forces in a surprise attack by the Moore Brotherhood. As supplementary forces for fleet defense, Psycho Zaku was deployed to actual combat without test operations. During sortie, most of the Living Dead Division's soldiers showed their respect and sent Daryl off with salutes. They must have known what Daryl had sacrificed to pilot this machine. And then, Psycho Zaku performed a miracle. It achieved the inconceivable feat of annihilating the Moore Brotherhood fleet single-handedly. Mobility enhanced to the extreme, rapid weapon switching via subarms, and Daryl's own skill. When these combined, Psycho Zaku literally became 1 against 1,000. And finally came the death match with his destined opponent, the full-armor Gundam piloted by Ensign E.O. Fleming. This battle was incredibly fierce. Once forced into functional shutdown, Psycho Zaku was reactivated by lightning unique to the Thunderbolt sector. It destroyed the full-armor Gundam by landing a hit with its remaining Sturmfaust. While the result was close to mutual destruction, for the Zeon forces, the fact that they defeated a Gundam was what mattered most. This battle result became legendary, transcending the boundaries between Federation and Zeon. The Earth Federation forces feared it as the Demon Experimental Machine, while the Zeon forces praised it as the War God who defeated Gundam. That was Psycho Zaku. The machine itself suffered critical damage in combat with full-armor Gundam and exploded after Daryl escaped. Most combat data was lost with the destruction of the mothership, Dried Fish, and system developer Carla Mitchum suffered infantile regression from the shock of battle. This meant that Zeon lost any means of mass-producing the Rus Psycho device. Let's look at Psycho Zaku's armament. This machine's armament philosophy is clear. Excessive heavy equipment premised on facing an entire fleet with a single mobile suit. Because the focus is on performance enhancement through the Rus Psycho device, there are no novel weapons, and most are the same solid ammunition weapons as a standard Zaku 2. However, the sheer quantity is extraordinary. First, the giant bazooka, a large bazooka for the Rick Dom, used widely from anti-mobile suit to anti-ship combat. Next, the Zaku bazooka, an improved magazine-fed type, 280mm caliber. 3 are mounted on the upper boosters, and spare magazines can be fed via subarms. However, this isn't equipped in the OVA version. The Zaku machine gun is used as a sidearm to cover gaps during bazooka firing, mainly held by the subarms. 4 spare magazines are mounted on the upper rocket booster. Sturmfaust is a disposable rocket launcher. 3 are attached to the lower boosters. This became the finishing blow against full-armor Gundam. And for close combat, the Heat Hawk, the iconic melee axe of Zaku-type machines. In the OVA version, a beam bazooka was added. It's a portable, large-caliber beam weapon with the power to destroy warships. However, once depleted, it requires recharging at the mothership. This is an OVA original weapon that doesn't appear in the original comic. The ability to effectively employ all this armament is thanks to the backpack's subarms. The subarms enable smooth attacks by rapidly switching between numerous weapons or using weapons directly with the subarms themselves. For example, it can aim the giant bazooka with both hands while sweeping with the Zaku machine gun held by subarms. Such feats become possible. An interesting contradiction. Here's one interesting story. In the original comic, there's a depiction of damaging full-armor Gundam's head with the Zaku machine gun. However, Gundam's Luna titanium alloy armor should neutralize Zaku machine gun fire. There's a contradiction in this depiction. In the OVA version, perhaps to avoid this contradiction, the cause of head damage was changed to giant bazooka fire. Such fine adjustments to settings are one of the pleasures of comparing different versions of the work. The story of Psycho Zaku didn't end with the machine's explosion. The Rus Psycho device development data flowed to the South Seas Alliance, and reconstruction of Psycho Zaku was plotted. This led to a three-way battle between Federation forces, Zeon remnants, and the South Seas Alliance. Daryl and his surviving comrades were certain of the system's mass production, but they weren't happy about it, because mass production meant more people would have their flesh and blood limbs amputated, just like Daryl. Technology born from the madness of war, creating more victims. There's no greater irony than this. The Psycho Zaku lineage continues. Psycho Zaku Mark II, a mass production version of Psycho Zaku developed by the South Seas Alliance. Also, Gray's Ein appearing in the same Sunrise work, Mobile Suit Gundam. Iron-blooded orphans shares a common concept with Psycho Zaku in that the pilot's limbs are amputated and the nervous system is integrated with machinery. Furthermore, full-armor Unicorn Gundam from Mobile Suit Gundam UC can be said to share machine concepts of adding maximum equipment to a single trump card unit and drive system that directly reflects thought into the machine. Psycho Zaku has also appeared in the Gundam vs. Gundam series. It's been included since Maxi Boost On. In-game, it has a very distinctive system where firing the main shooting's Zaku machine gun automatically fires two bazookas simultaneously. This is a specification that reproduces simultaneous attacks via subarms, showing adjustments that highlight Psycho Zaku's character. For plastic models, it's been commercialized in the HG1/144 series and MG1/100 series. The MG particularly includes the beam bazooka that appeared in the OVA version, a welcome specification for fans. Finally, let me introduce Amuro Ray's reaction in SD Gundam Battle Alliance. Upon seeing Psycho Zaku, Amuro says, "A red Zaku? But it's not the red comet. The equipment is too exaggerated." This reaction can be said to speak for many first-time viewers. When you think of Red Zaku, you think of Char. But Psycho Zaku is a grotesque machine that completely overturns that image. So, what did you think? Psycho Zaku, official designation High Mobility Zaku equipped with Ryu's Psycho device. This machine is an existence that poses particularly ethical questions within the Gundam series. A pilot who sacrifices their own body for war, a system that shaves away humanity in exchange for overwhelming performance, and the truly demonic battle result of annihilating a fleet single-handedly. The name Psycho Zaku isn't just a nickname. It may succinctly express the madness this machine possesses. Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt mercilessly depicts the dark side of war. Psycho Zaku is a symbolic existence of that. If you haven't watched Thunderbolt yet, please watch it at least once. The feud between Daryl Lorenz and I.O. Fleming and Psycho Zaku's combat performance will surely leave a powerful impression. That concludes today's explanation. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.